Marcellus Wiley of Fox Sports 1 was talking on Friday on Speak for Yourself, and the subject of Todd Gurley got brought up. And Marcellus Wiley threw out a conspiracy theory as to why Todd Gurley wasn't used down the stretch of the season for the Rams. And his thought was, in talking with somebody else who posed this idea to them, do you think it was pushback for the fact that Todd Gurley appeared on that episode of The Shop with LeBron James, and when LeBron James made the comments about NFL owners having a slave mentality, Todd Gurley was sitting there nodding his head, didn't say anything, was nodding his head, and this after the Rams and that ownership gave Todd Gurley a big-time contract probably earlier than they should have. And then come to find out, on an HBO show, LeBron makes a reckless comment like slave mentality, that's NFL owners. Todd Gurley is sitting there nodding his head. And so I don't know that I necessarily buy it. I don't know that I agree with it. I don't know that I'm sold on the conspiracy theory, and that's why Todd Gurley maybe wasn't played as much as he would have normally been played down the stretch. I don't know that I necessarily buy it, but I do think there might be some legitimacy to it. I would not be surprised if at the end of the day we find out that Marcellus Wiley was right and that Todd Gurley was sort of punished by the team based on sitting there with LeBron James and not defending his owner when LeBron James said NFL owners have a slave mentality after they paid him the money that they paid him. I wouldn't be surprised. I mean, it's better than anything else I've heard because none of anything we've heard about Todd Gurley's situation with the Rams makes any sense at all. None of it makes sense. If he was injured and you lied about it or weren't truthful about his injury, then that's a big issue with the NFL. They'll be punished for it. If he wasn't injured, what else could it be? Well, the stylistic matchup. Hold on a second. The great thing about having a running back like Todd Gurley or a running back like Le'Veon Bell or Ezekiel Elliott is that you can use those guys out of the backfield. They're dual threat running backs. They'll catch the ball. Like that's the idea is, hey, if the run game's not working, they're still a weapon out of the backfield catching the football. So that doesn't make sense. Like he's one of the best running backs in the league. He's being paid. And I threw out this idea during the week after the Super Bowl, just kind of breaking down here on Fox Sports Radio, like like either Todd Gurley is injured or he's got the worst contract in sports. Because you pay a guy like that, and that money especially comes into the conversation when in the most important games of the season, you're a non-factor, and C.J. Anderson, a guy who was released by 3 different teams, is getting a bulk of the playing time. So none of this situation makes any sense. There's been, maybe there's a personal issue. Okay, well, we don't know that, and maybe we never find out about it, but none of the answers make any sense, and Todd Gurley didn't speak to any of the media after the season or didn't meet with local media when they went to the Rams facility when they were cleaning out their lockers. So it's just kind of this big mystery that nobody's discussing. So when Marcellus Wiley throws out the idea, hey, does it have anything to do with him appearing on The Shop with LeBron James and LeBron making those slave mentality comments regarding NFL owners, and he was nodding his head? I mean, after that happened, you saw a significant dip in his playing time. So maybe there is something to it. I don't think it's the craziest idea in the world. I don't know if I totally buy it, but I don't think it's the craziest idea in the world to think that might have something to do with it. I mean, it's at least worth considering. And then it got me to thinking, do you remember, and this happened, and people thought it was odd. Do you remember after the Cowboys-Rams game, they showed the celebration in the locker room in the playoffs? Do you remember who was in the locker room after that game? Remember seeing LeBron James walk across the locker room in that game? And we all thought it was kind of strange. And I think even Clay Travis might have pointed something out about it. How LeBron James says NFL owners have slave mentality, yet he's in the locker room. And some people thought, oh, well, what a loyal Cowboy fan LeBron James is congratulating the Rams after they beat his team. What if LeBron James was in the locker room to talk with members of the Rams because Todd Gurley said he got a lot of heat for appearing on the show? Can you smooth it over? Can you have a conversation with somebody? Because why else was he in the locker room? Like there's something about the story that doesn't add up. So again, I don't know if I buy it, but I do think there might be something there, and it is at least worth consideration. And then you see LeBron James in the locker room after the Cowboys game. Was he there to try and smooth things over for Todd Gurley? Because Todd Gurley got heat after his appearance there? Was LeBron trying to talk to ownership? Hey, guys, I made the comment. Todd, he wasn't going along with it. It was me. I wonder if there is something to it. I think it's worth at least looking into. The other thing that's worth looking into is what the hell are the Rams moving forward, right? Because you lose the Super Bowl. There's all this talk about a Super Bowl hangover, and I wonder if people really understand what this season was for the Rams, because the odds come out for next year's Super Bowl, and the Rams are the third biggest favorite. So they are expected. There's only 2 teams ranked ahead of them in the odds. So the Rams are the third favorite to win the Super Bowl. And I just don't buy it. I don't buy it at all. And this isn't just an overreaction to what we saw in one game in the Super Bowl against New England when they looked bad. This was their year. They went for broke this year. I mean, they went out, they signed a bunch of big-time personalities on short-term prove-it deals. Ndamukong Suh, Marcus Peters, Aqib Talib. They traded for Fowler during the season, gave up a number 1 pick. Like, they went for it this year. This was the year. Went out, got Brandon Cooks. Signed, this was the year. And Jared Goff's going to get paid sooner rather than later. And I talked about it on the show last week. Man, the new model in the NFL is if you find a quarterback in the draft, you try and win on his rookie deal. Because once you have to pay him, things change. You don't have the money to spend in other areas. So you try and get it done on his rookie deal. It's why what the Philadelphia Eagles did a year ago was so huge for the organization, because they won it on Carson Wentz's rookie deal without him even playing. That's how big that was. So they got their Super Bowl, and he didn't even play. So now here we are, the Rams, another year gone. You don't win the Super Bowl. Jared Goff's contract is coming up sooner. You're gonna have to pay him. He's gonna get a raise, and you didn't get it done. And I think there were times during the season where the Rams were exposed, where they looked totally disheartened, completely overmatched. Most notably against the Bears on Sunday night, it looked like they wanted no part of that game. And then you get the Patriots in the Super Bowl, they look totally overmatched. And so you wonder, do teams look at that? Do they adjust? Do they see, oh, that's how we can get to them? There's multiple examples now of how you can beat that team. And then on top of that, the Todd Gurley situation. If there is a bigger issue and it's not just an injury thing, how does that affect the team moving forward? I mean, I was told the Malcolm Butler story last year in New England was a big issue in the offseason. There were players totally pissed off about it. So what if that conspiracy theory that was posed on Fox Sports 1 with Marcellus Wiley on Friday is true? You're telling me if it comes out that Todd Gurley was punished because he appeared on The Shop with LeBron James after during the episode where LeBron James made the slave mentality comments about NFL owners, if he was punished by his team because he didn't defend his ownership after they gave him a contract, if it comes out that that's true, you're telling me that's not going to be an issue next year or in the offseason for the Rams? How do other players in the locker room going to feel about that? I just think I think the Rams missed a golden opportunity in that Super Bowl. A golden opportunity. If you were to tell the Rams before the game, or a Rams fan, getting nervous, getting ready for a big game, if you were to tell them, here's how this is going to go. You're going to hold the New England Patriots to 13 points. You're going to hold the Patriots to 13 points. Tom Brady's going to throw no touchdowns and it's going to be his worst performance in a Super Bowl, would you take it? 11 out of 10 Rams fans would take it, and everybody in the organization would take it. Yes, please. And you weren't even close. You could get nothing offensively. That was a golden opportunity squandered by the Rams. We talk about these moments to where you were there and you lost in a certain way, and good luck trying to get back. Good luck, trying to figure that one out again. That felt like a golden opportunity squandered by the Rams, and now you enter an offseason with guys leaving, changes on the roster, Jared Goff closer to the end of his rookie deal. You're going to have to make a decision on him. He was a bit exposed at times during the season and in the biggest moments and in the biggest game of the year. And now you've got potential Todd Gurley drama as well, too. I think this is a bad look and a bad sign in what could be a bad few months for the LA Rams.